baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
Salutations. Another episode of Fangs up here. And look, we got backup microphone on standby just in case. But man, HBCU Digital Network, this is home to Herb Stewart and the Black Techies. And man, about last night, it was fun. We didn't get to link up on the post game, so I'll wear that one because I remember Brian asking me, "We still up?" And I was like, "Yeah," and I don't remember calling him or anything. So we kind of hung out after the game a lot and just kind of got some things working. So, but today, one of the things, make sure these microphones are working. Like, y'all don't know, brother had the backup ready. But man, what a night last night was. And for me personally, it was big because I got to see one of my former students. He plays for West Florida, actually my football son. So it's really cool to see that. And it's just one of those things that, you never know. You always want to see people playing and having fun and doing some things they're good at. So that was cool. And then post game, that was it was interesting. It was pretty cool because everybody's kind of on the field, a lot of familiarity. But in the press conference, we got Musa again, so which is cool. But yeah, let's get another guy post game interview. I think we've kind of got what we're gonna get from Musa for the next couple games, and you're gonna get the niceness out of us. But some of those other side questions are gonna eventually start coming out from someone, not me, not right now. But man, about the game against the University of West Florida, it's a FAMU victory, and it was one of those games that honestly was ugly. Like, it wasn't a pretty win. It finally turned into a blowout late in the game, but early on, man, that was a tough watch. That was a game where you were definitely asking what happened, what was going on, and going to halftime, man. It was a little bit of nerves, but FAMU does get the 31-10 victory in that game, and it just goes on to show you that this team hasn't played up to its potential yet. FAMU is yet to put together 4 quarters of good football, and if you want to do the whole measuring stick of what FAMU did against South Florida last week and what Alabama did to South Florida this week, you can do that. I'm not crazy about that just because either way, you lost to South Florida. But you did beat West Florida, and the feather in the cap, for me at least, you beat a high-quality Division II team, but it also wasn't a HBCU, in which this is the first time FAMU's defeated a non-HBCU in a mighty long time. Whether or not it's Division II or not, it really doesn't matter. That's something that I think a lot of us may not have mentioned, may not have spoken to, but this is the first non-HBCU that we played in a while. And I'll be honest, West Florida fans traveled really well. We had about 17,000 in attendance, and it was a pretty cool vibe. I will say, we got to get the 100 more time to play. Like, they only got like a good 5-6 songs squeezed in between commercial breaks. And look, put some respect on the 100. Like, let's not do them like that. We did them dirty in that game. So we did have that upcoming though. FAMU's got a little bit of volleyball coming up. We actually just South Charleston tournament, 2-1 there, and then you got Alabama State on Friday. So it's a little double up on that. Alabama State volleyball Friday, Alabama State football on Friday. Now, y'all know we're going to talk more about that Thursday. 8 o'clock. Probably going to pre-record that. I am overly booked. So we will definitely pre-record that one, get that ready for you good people. Probably record it on like Wednesday night. So that way it's still fresh. So don't be surprised if you drop a live comment and I don't say anything. It's not because I don't care. It's because full transparency. I like to keep it a buck with y'all at all times. We're going to have to pre-record that. But man, early on in this game, special teams was an issue. And that was, I'll say this. FAMU's special teams in particular and the offense have not put together a clean game where all three phases of special teams is hitting or the offense is just clicking for 4 quarters. We've yet to see that. In this game, it was a kickoff team. Kickoff team, I don't know what that was, but that wasn't it. We definitely need to look again at the way our special teams is set up. Our kickoff team leaves a lot to be desired as far as it seems like we're too compact. And what you were able to see, especially at West Florida, they were able to establish a wall and get some big kick returns that really gave them some favorable field position, which you don't want to do against some of these teams. Like one of the things we've heard this a few times where the team is kind of walking, like sleepwalking. They don't have the energy. It's not that they don't have the energy. They know how good they are. Like let's just be honest about this. You're not going to keep patting somebody on the back and everybody tell you how good you are. And then all of a sudden you get around other people and you don't smell yourself. Like FAMU football team, the football team smells themselves. And they're not arrogant. Like they're really cool dudes. Like I'm not saying that in a disparaging way. What I'm saying is they realize their potential. They understand that we're supposed to mollywop these guys. If we play our B grade game, we'll still win. That was a C-level game, and you still won by 21 points. Like it was literally drop the sticks. We know you got Division I talent over there, but we're still gonna win this game. Like the same thing with South Florida. It was all right, we were off. We made a bunch of mistakes, but we could have won that game. FAMU's football team smells themselves. Like they understand how good they are because we've all been saying, we've said that you have the preseason SWAC quarterback of the year. You've got a potential kick returner. You had the NFL scout at the game from the Indianapolis Colts. Like people are coming to FAMU to see this team. You have Hall of Fame weekend, new facilities. The boosters are doing this. The alumni are doing that. Like the investing and the investment in the program is real and it's tangible. It's not just where, hey, we got you water bottles. And you look over, you're like, okay, you got us some water bottles. Like, no, you got a new stadium. And those dudes that have been there for a while, like, yeah, this is a new Bragg. We got a new scoreboard. And they're walking in there like, yep, that's a new scoreboard. Walking in there, locker room looks pristine, considering its size. Still a really nice locker room. They go into the Lawson Center, new video board. Like, you keep walking up on FAMU athletics, and you're seeing where there's a commitment to bringing in new things. I'm cool with that. I'm really cool with that. But we also see some other things. Now, again, right now, we're going to focus on this, but I'm going to bring up some things in a minute. Now, special teams, again, I don't point out a problem unless I bring a solution. What I want to see is us not so tight or compact. Go back and look at how the special teams is set up on kickoff. It's not set up to where your outside contained guys are really on the outside. They're closer to the hash marks than I feel they should be. They should be farther out so that way when they're coming down, one, their lanes are defined. But secondly, they're also better able to cover and able to protect against the development of a wall because it's a lot easier to set up a wall when I don't have to travel as far. Whereas even if you're running away from me, if I'm on the left side, you run to the right side, I can still trail behind. Whereas with our current kick return setup, it leaves a lot to be desired, and it's going to end up with somebody scoring a touchdown, and it's going to be like, WT heck, like why? This is seen on film. We've seen this. So again, now the other part, man, offense. I don't know what the first half was going on. Like I was on the field first half. I probably cut up a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, I definitely did. But it was one of those games where I kept looking at the rushing stats. Like, is that right? Is that correct? Like, what's going on here? And it just you can go back and point to what Willie Simmons stated, where he's like, I can't really properly evaluate this team because they played some sorry talent. You saw that. You saw that, and you even saw that where with one of their corners, number 2, they tried Brandon, and it's like that is a corner that is played at the Division I level, FBS level. That's also a corner that was committed to Tennessee. You're going 1-on-1, good on good, with no height advantage. It's not going to end well, and it didn't. Like they tried number 2 in the corner, and I was like, oh, they trying my boy. I got to watch this. Like that's my boy right there. Like in that moment, I'm a FAMU fan, but I'm supporting my boy. Like he breaks it up, and I was like, I point over to, I'm like, don't do that. I see Musa looking. I was like, he's going straight to number 2. They ran a crossing route. They tried to confuse him. The coverage was flawless, and we don't score. Just one of those things where you could definitely see where them having played subpar talent and putting that on film kind of gave us a disadvantage personally. But then additionally, man, offensively, it's just one of those things. It just feels like you're playing with your food at sometimes. Like I definitely is one of those people who was like, establish run, wear them out. We finally did that, but it wasn't really until the third quarter where it got clicking. But the whole first half, to go into their 3-3, it wasn't pretty football. Now I will say, for all the criticism of Musa that there may be, in the first half, it's fair. It's fair. But he actually he was all right. Like he's above 50%, 18 for 27, 271 yards, 3 touchdowns. I didn't do his QBR today. But the second half, if that's a Musa that we're gonna get, that's a Musa I can live with. Now, I do go back and say, look, my boy from Wakaiva Jr. came in and looked good. Now, I will also say that it looks like the offense was wrangled in a little bit. Like it was, okay, we're not going to throw a million things at him right now. Let's keep this what it is. And it worked. Like, I ain't going to lie to y'all. Junior looked good throwing the ball. Like, he looked comfortable. And you could definitely see he's probably a little more nimble than Musa. But at the same point, you can see why Musa's QB1. Like, I do want to see more of this, though. Like, and this is a season where it's imperative that the offense catches on, because early on, Musa struggled with pressure a little bit, but he didn't throw picks. Like, that was the big thing. And he only gets sacked once. So as inconsistent as you may or may not want to say the pocket was, what you can't say was Musa threw picks. Wasn't no 3 picks this week. Like, whatever you got from last week was better. And on top of that, especially I noticed this in the third quarter, even when Musa threw balls that weren't completed, they weren't catchable. Like, they were catchable where if his receiver made a play, they could catch him. But if his receiver didn't catch it, nobody was. And that can be frustrating, especially on some of the deep balls, because you see it. You're like, man, I want the receiver to get to the spot. Musa's thrown to a spot. Simmons stayed the same. Musa alluded to that in the post game this week. So that's kind of why I was like, I'm good on Musa for like 2 weeks post game. Like, we've gotten Musa for 3 weeks. He's going to say similar things to what Willie's gonna say. So it's like you kind of talking to Willie Simmons twice. I love talking to Willie, but I want a different perspective sometimes. Especially, look, I want Anthony Dunn. I'm just gonna say that dude's a monster. Isaiah Major, give me one of them post game, because especially with the stats Dunn is putting up, look, he needs to be up there talking, because that's the way that he gets up there or noted for awards. Like, he needs that attention so that we can start talking about that. We can start talking about how that brother had like, I think I had 2 sacks, but I think they gave him like a sack and a half. But yeah, like Anthony Dunn is wreaking havoc. I'm gonna give credit to Gerald Fentalis, the Democrat. I believe he showed that there were like 14 or 15 pressures on the quarterback, and you can see where it messed with their quarterback. But give me somebody new post game. But going back to the offense, um, we I don't think we always noticed their weak corner though. Like, 2 was their best corner, but they had another corner, and you could tell when Musa kind of figured out that, okay, I want to take advantage of this guy, and he just couldn't get the ball into the spot sometimes. Now the run game clicked on, but the big thing was the tight ends. Man, I think you got something. Like Willie Simmons, shotgun, I think you got something. And I think what you have in the tight ends is something that was pointed out last year. And coach, you finally see it. You seen the light. Stop making them boys block all the time. They are great safety valves. Like, and we saw where FAMU's tight ends were able to catch the ball in space. And once they got the ball in space, they run like receivers. Like, this is the way. This is the way. I have spoken. I give you 2 Star Wars references on there. But real talk, FAMU's tight end room is deep. They can catch, and they are great safety valves. You're sending the receivers further deep. You got the running backs. Then, man, the way FAMU's offensive line can block against some of these teams, man, to have the tight ends kind of chip block, do a little chip block, and then all of a sudden break off for a route. Man, they are there, and it gives Musa somebody that's a check down, that's maybe a safe check down too, where he's maybe not relying on some of the other receivers as much. I just think that's something that Willie Simmons did really good as far as coaching up. Like, I definitely, I like to give people their flowers, because I'm gonna critique you when you're wrong, but when you're right, brother, I'm gonna celebrate you. And man, and I asked the question, like, what kind of second half adjustment did you have? And he was like, nah, I was like, if you can share. He's like, no real adjustment. We just executed better. And I was like, shenanigans. I call shenanigans. Yeah, you executed better, but you found the run game. The tight ends became a threat. So all of a sudden, that kind of changed the coverage a little bit. Now you're seeing where they ran, seemed like, and I'm going off of memory more so than film, which I don't like to do, but I remember West Florida running a little more zone than man to man. And it just seemed like, man, them having to be in a zone, and then to also have the tight ends as a threat, created a whole nother situation where Musa was able to actually get a little more comfortable. And I think you found a stick. I don't have a stick here, but if I did, kind of like I think Anthony Dunn that walked out with Plank pregame. But if I had a stick, look, I'd be holding it up right now. FAMU's tight end room. That's it. You found your checkdowns. That's what's going to make Musa comfortable. I think if you're coaching up, and if you're scouting up, and if you're setting this offense up, what you're going to do is you're going to really start changing your offense so that it includes more opportunities for the tight ends, because the tight ends went for 7 or 8 catches in this game, and huge touchdown runs, long catches, and amazing play. And you're able to now see where that changes the coverage, that forces the defense to be a little more honest. Sometimes the linebackers may have to come up, and sometimes they're coming up in the box. Maybe they're coming up and play action. Like, to me, utilizing the tight ends open up the offense so much more, and it allows you to do so many more things. And it gives Musa some quick check downs for when the line does collapse. So you're not running that screen as much. You can just dump it to the tight end. Similar effect. Uh, Arguably, depending on the running back, speed for speed is really the same. But most times, it's a faster running back. Running back's faster than tight end. But in this case, man, I think FAMU's offense found something with the tight end. The receivers are the receivers. I mean, you've got Gassett. Uh, I think that guy's. I think he is something waiting to happen. We've got K Dot, who's been playing different. I mean, Nicholas Dixon, that dude, like, big body receiver. I really want to see him in more jump ball situations. I think that's something we're missing out on a goal line. And I'm going to shift to receivers here. Look, I'm 5'8" myself. I can still slap the backboard, but you know what? Give me a 6'2", 6'3" brother going against a 5'10" or a 5'11" corner all day, and let Musa hit that one step and chuck. Throw it at the pylon. If you don't catch it, it's going out of bounds. But I want that. I think that's one of the missing pieces in FAMU's goal line offense, along with sometimes I think we've gotten better about being under center, but even still, like, man, the play calling, it was pretty solid as far as like in the red zone. Like we were pretty good with that. We definitely did a much better job of protecting the ball in this game. Just looking back at it, I can't recall too many major turnovers. Like it was a really good game. As far as being able to do your basics, FAMU does run for 169 yards, but that stat will lie to you, because FAMU had 300 yards passing, but going into the third quarter, FAMU was below 70 yards rushing. Like it took a while, and that Terrell Jennings run is one of the major plays when you start looking at total rushing yards. So just kind of looking there. Let's see, one INT. So you get one turnover that game total. I'm okay with that. Like you won the game. Now defensively, man, that defense carried the team. That was beautiful. FAMU's defense, I will say, within this first 4 weeks of college football. Yeah, so we're going into week 4. Yeah, this is the best defense in SWAC. I mean, and they know it. That's the scary part. But the difference is between them knowing that they're the best defense in the SWAC and the offense knowing their potential is the follow-through. The follow-through for FAMU's offense is meh. Like it's not there. We haven't seen it, but we also haven't seen the best of FAMU's offense. I really don't think Willie Simmons has opened this offense up. I think he's getting like twiddly finger with me. Like, I'm really smart. I know this. This is fun. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But I don't think he's gotten to that point to where it's like, I got this. I know exactly. I think he knows exactly where he wants it to go, but I don't think he has yet realized its full potential. That's going to be scary if he can do this. And that's going to be a fun thing to see if and when it happens. Now, the defense, bruh, that defense is like that. Look, I have definitely talked about Coach Smith and our zone defense at times. Look, bro, you can do whatever the hell you want right now. This defense is like that. You are literally getting to the quarterback consistently with 4 people. And it doesn't matter if they're FBS, FCS, or Division II. FAMU's defensive line is getting to quarterbacks. It is scary. Like, the only problem I got with our secondary, Our defense is the secondary, and them dropping picks, and then Kamani King gets a pick. So look, FAMU's defense is like that. Best defense in the SWAC right now. You can argue with your mama. I'm just saying. Like, I get it's a Division II team. The game was closer than it should have been. Look, some teams that have won SWAC championships had closer games and almost lost to Division II teams called Delta State. I like receipts though. So, I'm petty. I'm petty that way. Like, I ain't gonna sit up here and be too bad. But when it comes time for receipts, I'll pull some receipts. FAMU's defense, best defense in the SWAC. Now, the other thing we saw, and that was really the reason we were here, man. Look, Bragg looks nice. Like, that was the scoreboard, bruh. We got rid of that 32-inch. That 80-inch looked nice. We got an 80-inch TV, y'all. We got a big screen. I ain't gonna lie. I was messing with Dr. Robinson. I saw him at the Ken Raleigh thing pregame, and I was like, Doc, you ain't got to start on him. And look, Dr. Robinson was like, he was quiet too, man. He's cool. He was like, yeah, man. They were talking about us. They were picking at us about our scoreboard, especially the folks from Alabama State. I was like, oh, Dr. Robinson. Okay. My bad, Doc. They were okay. I see you. Yeah, okay. Let's keep invested in athletics. I see somebody struck a nerve with Doc. He ain't like that. You look, yeah, you ain't make him mad, but he was quiet. But he was like, yeah, it looked nice. I was like, yeah, I see you over there. I told you, telling y'all, I was messing with him, like trying to, just get him a smile a little bit, man. He was grinning a little bit, but we were at the Ken Raleigh celebration, and man, that thing was beautiful. That right there is actually Dr. Robinson talking. Ken Raleigh's wife is right there. Ken Raleigh's son, daughter, the whole family was there. A.D. Sykes, Vaughn was there, of course. And I was surprised, man. I really thought, actually, Vaughn, if you're looking here, Vaughn is actually probably to the left of me. But I was surprised that I think he was just enjoying the moment, because normally he'd be doing the like HBCU game day stuff, but he was really just taking it in. And honestly, I did the same. Like, I don't have the close connection to the Raleigh family that he does, but I do have a respect for the program, and I have a love for the university. Like, I'm fanatical with my love of FAMU, but I'm just rational. But it was a beautiful thing, man. You got to see the field. Thank you, Mom. My mom actually took this picture for me, but because I was on the field somewhere, probably in the end zone. But you can see the new stenciling on the field. And like I told y'all, you can see this part of why I picked it. It's like 17. We had a hot 17,000 in there. Like, that was solid. Like, and then this is where I was. I was back there in the back cutting up. But you can kind of see West Florida side. Now, before we get out of here, we ain't did this in a minute. We're gonna go inside the den. And look, we got to fix this tailgating situation. Like, so if you didn't or did not hear, they're restricting some of the areas and places individuals can tailgate, especially on the Hill. And I'm just going to say it like this. The issue was the timing. Evidently, from what I've been told, the individuals found out Friday that they couldn't tailgate on the Hill and in some of the grassy areas on Saturday. So you're giving people a day ahead. It's not good. But also, man, getting into the Bragg was a cluster. And I asked Josh, I'm like, man, what's up with that? He's like, bro, that's not even us. I was like, well, I'm glad you said that, because you can get blamed for it. He's like, yep. So that actually wasn't on athletics. But we definitely have to work on that. And we just got to tighten up some things. First game, though, it was a success overall. There were some hiccups. Now, y'all do know, and Inside the Den, presented by Cable Busters, who you going to call? Cable Busters. 813-360-1902, cablebusterstv.com. So we got to fix this tailgating issue, um, because partially the timing, but also, man, we got to get some vision going. Like, I'm gonna give y'all something, and this is pretty much directly from Google. See if I get a good picture of it without like having to give people too much credit. But on the hill is cleared off. It looks really nice. Something that FAMU should do, in my opinion, is very similar to what like the University of South Carolina does with the cockabooses. If you're not familiar, they have these trains. They call them cockabooses, because their mascot's the Gamecocks. So that way, I don't want y'all thinking of weird stuff. I'm just gonna share you the straight Google page, and that way it is what it is. You can Google it in your free time. But these are what they are. They call them cockabooses, and this is a designated tailgating area that is near the stadium. And this is kind of some of the inside of some of the one of the clubs they have there. But you can actually see, like, they turned this into a designated tailgate area that allows you, the fan, to tailgate close to campus, but also have all the amenities right there. Why can't that hill become that? Like, I somebody gave me the idea um, that it should be called maybe the Rattlers Den or something like that. We already have that on campus, but just call it the hill. Like, have the hill, put some electronics up there as far as like some plug-in stations, maybe some places where people can put portalets. It's already flattened out. Let people put their tents up there, rent it for a nominal fee. It's not like the parking and the tickets don't come together. So you don't have the situations where in the past people were only buying parking and not going into the game. They buy both. They just may not go in the game, but you got the money for the tickets, so it don't matter. What I'm saying is some of the idea going forward that I would love to see with this in other areas where we notice that maybe it's a grassy knoll or something like that. Let's turn these areas into tailgate areas that allow our fans to have tailgate experiences. Like, it makes it make more sense as far as a fan to, and I'm multitasking right now, so and I misspelled doghouse, so I'm glad y'all can't see it. But we just saw where like Alabama A&M added dog houses into their stadium, but just some type of ways to continually generate revenue, and revenue that you control. Like, that's one of the things that we struggle, and you often get the complaints about with vendors. And the idea of FAMU having vendors is that that money is leaving your stadium, and it is, but at the same point, you can put some of those vendors in the stadium. Meh. I kind of like our tradition. I ain't gonna lie. Like, excuse me for being old in that moment, but I kind of like it. Like, I do like that. Hey, if I go outside, there's all this stuff. There's Perry Street. It adds a little something to the ambiance and just gives a little something to the stadium. So, couldn't get a good picture of the Alabama A&M ones, but and you see other schools and other institutions do this as well, where they have designated tailgate areas, and it just becomes its own thing. We already know where Ole Miss has the Grove and different things like that. I think FAMU could do something similar like that with some of those places, some of those hills. Have people rent those out. Have people put tents there. You partner with a company that does portalets and things like that, and all of a sudden, you created a situation that really, it makes life easy for you and them, and you're controlling who you're doing business with. You can, I mean, I wouldn't go so far as like trying to have them deal with whoever you cater with. Like, let them cater their own food, but it just allows you to generate more revenue, but it also allows you to further enhance the vibe and the atmosphere that is in around Bragg. And I think that's something that you could do instead of fencing off some of those areas. Like to me, when you're fencing off those areas, you're not really doing anything to help the environment. Like maybe fence off some of the entrances, but within those green spaces, man, those green spaces are money making areas. Like you're losing revenue. Like you're losing potential revenue. Like you can't lose what you never had. I can see that. And excuse me. I touched something, touched my feet, and it's just I'm one of those. Easily distracted. Squirrel. So, but nah, real talk though. Like that's just something that we definitely have to grow into being able to see. And that's just something that, you know, you get from other perspectives. Like, because for me, I didn't really notice it as much until it was brought to my attention. Like, hey, we can't tailgate here. We've been here for years. We've offered to pay for it. We've offered to do these different things. We feel slighted because the day before the game, we can't tailgate here. And the way they found out was kind of shisty. But then it was like, it affected me a little bit because I was going to try to tailgate with Kelvin. And it was like, so is Kelvin's tailgate spot messed up too? And Brian's like, I think so. And then game day is like, yep. So it just kind of threw off some stuff. And I really thought that that's a missed opportunity. That's a chance where you can probably generate some thousands of dollars that you can put back in athletics by creating a tailgating area. We definitely have an area on the practice field where individuals are parking cars and things like that. And that's all well and good. There's nothing wrong with that. But if we could find a way to even turn some of that into areas where people can tailgate, like just have a tailgating village. Like I think that's the next step that FAMU is potentially missing out on, and something that really you could even do. And if you wanted to, I don't know how you feel about it, but you can designate even a part of campus where, hey, this is our tailgate village. You get a little shuttle thing and you take people from here to there. Like just some different ideas about improving and enhancing the product, because the vibe at Bragg was great. It was a great atmosphere. It was a lot of fun. DJ Loose Kid is amazing. The 100 is 100. Like I was messing with my daughter and on the way down, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't love football." And I was like, oh, "Okay, well, how was the 100?" She's like, they do whatever they're supposed to do. I mean, everyone knows FAMU has the best band. Like, if the marching 100 is not good, what is going on? And I was like, I'm so proud. I did something right. But real talk, I think that's the next phase. Like, because we do understand you're trying to cut off some of that's happening on the other side of Perry Street. And I get it, but at the same time, within the confines of what you're controlling inside of Bragg, man, some of that green space we have, man, that could be a spot where you can make some green. Those are spaces where you can generate additional revenue that comes back to athletics. You're controlling the parking lot. Cool. Or the university. But between those two on game day, that's your area. That's a potential area where some more money can be made. And it's an area where you can charge people, hey, a couple $1,000s, so however much. Whereas all of a sudden, it just becomes something where it just improves the atmosphere. It improves the venue. And it's someplace where you're bringing recruits to and other things like that. Because we definitely have a great atmosphere. We have a great tradition. And FAMU has a lot going for itself as far as athletically. We have some things to work on, but that's everybody. But I just felt like after this first game, those are some of the things that I noticed. We definitely got to fix the entrance, that tailgating situation, work that out with those people, but also figure out how to monetize the situation. Like fix that. And then also, we got to work on that field access. Like I got them back there. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm glad to have them. But yeah, that's gonna be something AD gonna bring up. I'm gonna say that like that because she was not happy. Not about that. So but man, a hard-earned win. FAMU wins the game 31-10, 21-point victory. Next game is going to be against Alabama State. 24-hour rule is over, Coach Simmons. It's time to get ready for the Hornets. And this is going to be one of those games where you got to contain the quarterback. You are going to run that FAMU zone, but give me a spy. I need a spy on the quarterback. Alabama State is going to be coming in here. I ain't saying the brother's playing for his job, but I'll say it like this. They are 1-1. They beat Southern. They lost to Miles. Granted, Miles almost beat another SWAC school in Arkansas Pine Bluff, but this is their first game, and they've had 2 weeks to scout you. And in that 2 weeks, they have the Jackson State film, they have the USF film. Look for them to try to stop the run. That's going to be a problem. We already know what it is. Looks like it's a 6 o'clock kick on Saturday. I see 5 p.m. Central. So look for that game to be interesting and kind of exciting. It's going to be one of those games where Alabama State is probably going to shock us a little bit more than we think. And I would be surprised if we don't see a little bit of quarterback option out of them. Because him just throwing the ball, nah, he's going to have to make plays happen out of broken plays. And this is a team last year we beat by that much. Literally a block kick by your favorite Kappa on the football team. Otherwise, man, that was going to be some slow singing, and a long 3-hour ride. So it's going to be another game. Could be another packed house. Look, Rattler Nation and Argonaut Nation. Look, I got to give y'all credit before I get out of here. West Florida showed up. For all the stuff, it was I don't know if they're coming, and they didn't bring a band, thankfully. But they showed up. They came, and Rattler Nation, you showed out in droves. Look, get there early. You already know what it is. You've been told. I even warned my own family. I'm like, look, first game, never done this before. Get there 2 hours early. It's nothing against anything, but it's just your first time. We know how things happen when our first time doing stuff. Look for some things to get corrected. But again, get there early, because a lot of y'all miss kickoff. We need you there. And then come to the Rattler Walk, all the other stuff, good stuff going on. But man, let's get up out of here, get ready. We're going to talk about the Alabama State versus FAMU game that is going to be Thursday, 8 o'clock, HBCU Digital Network. And we're going to see, look, I'm going to talk to Brian and Kelvin. See, we doing a post-game interaction. We're going to see. We're supposed to supercast it, but look, we'll work it out. We'll work out logistics. That one's on me at this time. So I don't know if it was or wasn't, but it probably was. I was tired. But as we head out of here, big shout out, HBCU Digital Network. This is home to Herb Stewart and Digital, the Black Techies. Sorry. Look, I'm so excited because this is the one game where we get both of us on the network and our teams are playing each other. Hopefully they bring the Marching Hornets too. They normally bring a decent show. But look, check us out Thursday, 8 o'clock. We're going to pre-record the episode, so it's not going to be live, but still drop your comments, interact with a brother. I like to see what you have to say and how you respond to the game. And as always, y'all, it's going to be Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Dorsey,